Obviously, those who have read me, I never shy away from intimacy or sex scenes. They are there. And I don't think you can write a love story without showing how the couple interacts in the bedroom.
Why did you choose 12 years specifically?
3-4 reasons. But one is obvious. Saket is 33 and she's 21. So 33 minus 21, 12. So also the story spans 12 years.
Right.
Also, this is my 12th fiction book.
So why did you choose to dedicate the book in a way that you want to ask for forgiveness before you start the book?
This concept particularly of forgiveness was really beautiful, and I felt we should all do it. And it's a tribute to Payal, who's Jain, And it just makes the dedication fit in with the character of the book.
How is the entire thought process evolved for you as an author when you write two different type of romance fiction?
I used to think little differently then. I'm thinking differently now. Society also thinks differently now. That was happening then, this is happening now. So I think I try to bring it in each book in some way. But every book does have a different focus. One Indian Girl was about feminism. This book is not.
Hello and welcome to the Sapna Rise podcast, an initiative of Sapna Book House. And I'm your host, Nijesh Shah. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel so you never miss powerful conversations with the voices shaping our world of books. At Sapna Rise, our mission is simple yet profound: to inspire a nation through the power of storytelling and the written word. We believe that every story has the potential to ignite change, spark innovation, and build a better future. This is where we bring you closer to the stories, insights, and wisdom of some of the most distinguished authors and thought leaders of our times. And today, we have a storyteller who needs no introduction, but deserves one anyway. There are authors who write stories, and then there are authors who change the way an entire generation reads. From 5-point someone to 2 states to half girlfriend. He didn't just tell stories, he rewrote what it meant to be young, ambitious, and unapologetically Indian. Today, he's back to love, back to his roots, with his brand new novel, 12 Years, My Messed Up Love Story. A book that isn't afraid to get real, messy, emotional, and say what most of us are too scared to admit. On this episode of Sapna Rise, we sit down with none other than the master storyteller Chetan Bhagat to talk about love, loss, laughter, and the courage to start over when life has gone completely messed up. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the first ever podcast with a live audience. Welcome to Sapna Rise, where stories rise beyond pages, and today, so does love. Thank you, Chetan. Welcome to Sapna. It took me a couple of days to read the book, and I must say it's fast-paced, it's electrifying, and it's very different from the earlier romance fiction that you've written, because it's much more mature in terms of the topic, much more modern, probably significant in today's world that we live in. To draw your thoughts on the title, 12 Years, apart from the age gap between Saket and Payal, this particular number, is it more significant to you in any other way? Why did you choose 12 years specifically?
Okay, 3-4 reasons. But one is obvious. Saket is 33 and she's 21. So 33 minus 21, 12. So also the story spans 12 years.
Right.
Also, this is my 12th fiction book.
Right.
Or 12th book original. There are 2 more, which are the columns compilation. 11 rules also I'm going to, but like 12th book in a way. I call it my 12th book. The 2 others that you're saying are my articles combined into a book. So that's a little different. And I knew I'm writing a controversial topic, like age gap. I don't know if you saw Instagram the day I announced the book.
Yeah.
You see those videos? My gosh, like people get angry, man, on the internet. And like, I didn't expect like that, but I knew some will be there. And I wanted the book to start a discussion. So I asked people, how much age gap is nothing? Like, no big deal at all. Is 5 years a big deal? Not really, right? 7? No, it's okay. 9? No. How much is too much? Is 20 years too much? Yeah, everybody said it's too much. 15 years too much. What was the number at which it became half and half? 12 years. At 12 years, half the people will say, I guess it's okay. And half will say, no, it's not okay. It's too much. That's the sweet spot for discussion. And that's why I felt 12 years is the correct age difference, where you are really confused that is it too much or it is not too much. I've not done 35 years age difference, or they do, they do exist. It happens. And I've not done something like 1 year, which is like, why is this even an issue? So 12 is the number at which it's controversial enough, yet acceptable at one level also. So I felt that's a nice way to do it.
Very, very, very well put across. And you start the book with Michhami Dukkadam.
Yes.
Right. And
why don't you tell people who are not Jain what it means?
Right. So I'm taking some questions on behalf of him, but thank you for allowing me to speak about Michhami Dukkadam. But Michhami Dukkadam is a phrase that in the Jain community is given to people when we want to seek forgiveness. So intentionally or unintentionally, if we would have hurt you in any way throughout our life, during the 8 pious days of Paryushan, which is a very big festival in the Jain community, during the last day of that festival, each one of us would go to, be it a Jain, a non-Jain, seeking forgiveness, be it a human or even any living being for that matter, and asking for forgiveness for any of the issues we would have had intentionally or unintentionally. So that is the entire context of Michhami Dukkadam. But yeah, more to you as to why did you choose to dedicate the book in a way that you want to ask for forgiveness in before you start the book.
Yeah, so my lead protagonist is Jain. I am not Jain, and I'm taking the liberty of making a protagonist Jain and talking about Jain culture. And it's the hero is a stand-up comic, so he keeps making jokes about everything. And there are some jokes about Jain food and Jain nachos and Jain all this. It's a lot lighthearted, but I just felt like, and we have a full review done by the Harper team on if anything is too much, and we fix all that. But even then, I may have done something in these jokes, and not just on Jains. There's jokes on everybody. There are jokes on dentists in the book and all kind of things, because he's doing stand-up comedy acts. So I said, I should seek forgiveness for that, because it's unintentional. The intention is just to write a nice book. And I think I have a lot of Jain friends, and I've done a lot of Jain events. I do motivational talks for Jito, right? Jain International
Trade Organization.
Yeah, so they do a lot of these events. A lot of Jains I worked with. I think Mumbai has a lot of them.
Right.
And it's a beautiful community, and it has some really nice principles, and they are very wealthy because of the certain way they think about life, and they're very hardworking. And this concept particularly of forgiveness was really beautiful, and I felt we should all do it. I mean, we should borrow from a good community's good concept, and we do hurt people in life. And I'm sure I have unintentionally definitely hurt people. And I thought through this, the whole India will know about this. They'll get curious, what is this? And like you told everybody now. So I thought it's a nice tribute to give. And it's a tribute to Payal, who's Jain, And it just makes the dedication fit in with the character of the book. So yeah, that's why I did it.
No, but thank you on behalf of the community. I think this important phrase, right, not many of us are aware of, and through Chetan Bhagat and his books, which reaches out millions of readers and people across the globe, at least this word is now better understood when it's spoken of.
Even Gen Z Jains, right? They sometimes feel like, okay, let's be modern, let's not like the traditions are not important. And so when they see a new, like a writer who's popular using this, I think it has some positive effect. They feel proud. I think that's also.
No, very, very well said. And thank you for bringing this entire context of Michhami Dukkadam before you start the book. Coming to the book, the story spans across Mumbai, Dubai, and California. It feels quite intimate when you talk about these places. Specifically in Dubai, you speak about very innate things about how the culture of Dubai is and the entire concept of sugar daddy and all of those things.
That's, by the way, there in India also. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
a Dubai thing. That, I think for some people, it's a worldwide concept. I'm not saying it's super common.
Right.
But it's not like it doesn't exist. It's there. I mean, I literally asked in one of the events in, how many of you have heard? In India, I did a book launch. How many have heard of? And it was just a London top interview. And I asked it was an interview done in the office. So 100 people were there. And I asked, how many of you have heard of this thing happening around you? And most of the people raised their hands. They're like, oh, yeah. So it's there.
Right.
Yes.
No, I'm sure that the entire book is so well modernized in terms of the current situation, the relationships that the Gen Z, goes through, how they manage, and definitely it's quite messed up not only in the book but across everyone's lives today. Most of the new Gen X or Gen Z's life. So coming back to the cities that you have mentioned, specifically, we moved to Dubai, which is your second part of the book. How did you write about Dubai so deeply in terms of, did you visit the city?
I live there now.
You live there now. Okay, that's something.
I moved away to. Actually, I really changed the way I approach my work now, especially writing in the last 2 years. I realized I have to go back to my basics, which is actually to make my brand. I did a lot of things.
Okay.
I do social media, YouTube, television, films, everywhere, which has helped everybody find out about Chetan Bhagat. But at my core, the reason I left my job, which was quite a tough thing to do, is because I love writing and creating these kind of stories, which only I can create.
Right.
Like the rest of the things I enjoy, but this is the core of my passion. And to do this, I had to cut off distraction. And I said, then only something really good will come. It's a tough story to write. It's very fun to read, but it's a funny book. I chose a main hero stand-up comic.
Right.
Because that would make sure it's a funny book. Because then he has to perform comedy.
Right.
And he keeps talking to everyone in that way. So, but who will write the comedy? I only have to write it. I only have to become a stand-up comic. So I had to learn stand-up comedy, write those pieces, put it in the book. It was separately written. So I moved to Dubai to just really get away from the distraction and being told 3 times a day that you are a blockbuster author. I don't think it's very good for my actual work to be aware that I'm some, just wanted to focus on that. So in the process of living in Dubai, I obviously brought that city in. And Saket lives in Bandra, which is on Nargis Road, which is exactly where I live. The restaurants, both in Bandra and in Mumbai and in Dubai are ones that are real and I've been to. In fact, today only someone said, Rashmi said, if I go to Dubai, the first thing I'm doing is going to all the places you've
mentioned in the book.
Because they've been described in such a way that you feel like going there. And they are all beautiful places. I chose, this is literally like how filmmaker chooses location. I chose, they're going to a cafe. I chose Leto Cafe, which is there in Dubai, which is the same cafe where that Alia Bhatt cake became viral. So there's lots of places like that. So I felt cities are also like characters in the book. I haven't done Bangalore yet. Maybe one day. But I've done a lot of Delhi. A lot of my books are Delhi all the time because I'm from there. I never did Mumbai. Even though I know this, I've lived there so long. And now Dubai also, I've lived for 2 years. But you're right. It comes because
because the cities are very well explained. The culture is very well, right? Yeah.
Although some places are not on the tourist map. They're not the typical Instagram Dubai you see. So that is because I lived there. Yes, it all comes from a real place.
And Chetan, was stand-up comedy difficult for you to write as a genre? Because it's the first time you're attempting this. And like you rightly said, it's something that's, it may not come very natural to a writer who is writing romance fiction or thriller fiction.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And stand-up comedy is one of the hardest professions.
Right.
You have to go out there and perform and people have to laugh within the first 5-10 seconds. And if they don't, you can feel the depth of silence that, and so they also write a lot. and I learned how the techniques are. I wrote around 40 like jokes, you can say. And I think 15-20 made it to the book. I still have another set. Maybe I can perform someday, somewhere. And in that, and I showed Saket as a struggling stand-up comic, not a hit. And he slowly becomes little bit successful, not huge. So the worst jokes I put in the beginning because it's beginner, and then little better jokes later, and then or better like that. So it was difficult. That was the biggest challenge actually, to create a book and not only that, when he talks to people or when he thinks, it's in a stand-up comedy way. And that's the thing about his chemistry with Payal, that she also is very funny. And she's not a stand-up comic, but she gives it back to him. She just is like, sassy, and I could read a little bit from the book.
Sure.
To show. It's a little naughty. It's okay.
Of course.
Yep. Okay, fine. Fine. We're all grown up here. And the book is there. So abhi jo hai, so hai.
So those of you who have the book, could
I'm
probably
just
follow
telling
the
page
page.
number. Yes. Good idea. Yes. Okay. So open page 234. He's thinking about the time he was with Payal, and I obviously, those who have read me, I never shy away from intimacy or sex scenes. They are there, and I don't think you can write a love story without showing how the couple interacts in the bedroom, before, during, after what they talk. And this is just an example of how they have that rapport. And he does stand-up comedy, and he comes and discusses the show and all, like it's work for him. So they just talk about that, and she sometimes gives it back to him. So in stand-up comic, like in the earlier part, he has this act on push-up bras, how he feels they're a fraud, like they're technically a fraud. Okay, so you'll get the sense of it when I read. So page 34, this line, it says, Payal and I were lying in bed chatting. Is everybody there? Yes. Okay. Payal and I were lying in bed chatting. Good show today, Payal said. Yes, the audience loved it. They were hooting and whistling. That's great. Listen, do you still do the push-up bra bit? Yep, it always works. I always get the loudest laughs for the dhakka maar bra. I actually have an objection to file on that, Payal said, sitting up and turning towards me. What? I said, looking at her twinkly eyes. You say that push-up bras are technically a fraud. Yeah. How is it a fraud? They advertise it as that. Well, the men don't know. I use push-up bras sometimes. I'm not that big. I know. It's okay. It's okay? Excuse me? Yes, it's okay, baby. I love you anyway, whatever your size. Ouch, she said. What? Nothing. It's okay, Saket. I love you too anyway, whatever your size. Huh? I sat up. What do you mean? Payal smiled. Is it small? I said. Well, Payal trailed off, a grin on her face. She fluffed a pillow and leaned back against the headrest. What? I've seen bigger, Payal said. Ouch! Double, triple ouch. Where have you seen them? In porn. Oh, of course, porn actors are the outliers in size. The top 1%. It's like they've cleared the porn JE. Well, you certainly wouldn't clear that JE. Good thing you took the other JE. Ow, that hurts. You're brutal, Payal Jain. It's okay, baby, Payal said. I still love you. So yeah, that's the kind of sense of the couple. But you immediately realize this couple has a different kind of dynamic, it's chemistry. And stand-up comedy is there not only on stage, but like throughout the book, which I think makes it really fun to read. And then you get very attached to the characters. Now you suddenly want to know more about who are these people, man. I want to know what happened to them.
Just to add to what you say, not giving out too much, but there's a particular scene where Payal and Saket are intimate in the room.
Yes, that's not...
Oh, that's a very funny scene. All I want to say, that's so funny.
you'll be laughing to splits. It's really funny. So as he said, this book is a roller coaster. It brings about every
Should I
different
start reading
emotion.
that scene?
I'm okay. I think we have all above 18, but
नहीं above की बात नहीं है, but I just don't want to give it away. I want you to enjoy that scene. You know, like that there is a lot of suspense elements in the book. So this was just a normal conversation. So this is okay, but I don't want to spoil it. You're gonna read it, but yes,
it's a
is
lovely
funny
book.
I mean,
It's a funny book. Yeah.
I know I'm saying it for my own book, but you know, sometimes, and I won't say it for all my books, but sometimes some magic happens when you write. Even I don't know, and I can't create it again. I can't write the next one, it'll be like this. But this time it has happened. I just know it. There is something so magic. There's something about this book which just works. It's the simplest story. But Two States was also the simplest story. But people still remember it. And in some ways it's love story, like boy, girl. But just the chemistry, just the way every page has some magic in it. And I think people will really like it.
I'm sure, Chetan.
But it is like racy. But what else you expect from me?
But I think the beauty about your writing, to what all of us would agree, because I've also been a reader of all your books, is the honesty in which you bring about writing the topics. There's not a shy away in terms of, okay, whether this is going to be accepted or not, whether it is controversial or not, but the sheer fact that whatever you're writing, you bring about the current relevance in your writing. Today's day and age, these are the facts, what you mentioned in the book. It's just that people don't write too much about it because of the so-called image they want to bring about as writers. But you have, I think, shattered that. So kudos to you on that.
Firstly, being an owner of 24 bookstores, you have all the books in the world and you're reading my books. So that's very special. And yeah, you have to be true to the subject. You can't take on, if I'm doing a love story, I have to go deep into the couple. I want to go into their heads and tell what's going on, all their insecurity. You're not only going to laugh, you're going to cry also in this book. And it's because I try to put it out there. And you cannot write a book thinking what your mother will say. Or your neighbors will say. And I know there are some people, everybody doesn't think like me. And some people get little upset that I write in a very openly intimate scenes and all that. But, at least it's in the context of a story. In the context, they are needed. No scene is extra. You need that scene to, it's a pivotal point in the story. So in the era of porn, this is nothing. But if I just shy away from it, then I've not done the job. If I'm doing an age gap romance, I have to do it, or don't do it. Then, and I'm not writing stories of आदर्श पुरुष and आदर्श नारी. See, अब आप राइटर हो इंडिया के, अब आप लोगों को दिशा दिखाओ कि एक कपल था, वो कुछ नहीं करता था और फिर शादी हो गई और उन्हें 2 बार करा और 2 बच्चे हो गए. Who wants to read that, bro? I mean, so that, and nobody does that. So if I do that, it's a fake book. So sometimes it's a pressure, like you said, you're a high profile writer. आपको ऐसा नहीं लिखना चाहिए. You should, आपको मार्गदर्शन करना चाहिए. नहीं, मेरे को मार्गदर्शन कर सकता मैं. I can only show a mirror. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, then maybe have a relook at how society is. But don't come to me, because for the fact that I can't do margdarshan in the era of reels and YouTube. People are going to do what they're going to do. You think I'm going to fight against Mother Nature? And people are going to stop having sex because I tell them to? Kidding me?
A good way to answer is Michhami Dukkadam.
Yeah, Michhami Dukkadam. But तभी तो शुरू में लिख दिया. Sorry भैया. But yes. No, I think I'm happy that I'm able to keep that balance of being bold. I still try to thoda sa be responsible in terms of not going too crazy, but at the same time do what is necessary to tackle the subject.
But as a storyteller, if we look at your earlier books, specifically if you ever talk about One Indian Girl, where you talk about a lot of feminism, you talk about gender equality, and then we talk about 12 years. How is the entire thought process evolved for you as an author when you write 2 different type of romance fiction, one addressing a different societal challenge and this one representing the more modern one?
Firstly, society only keeps changing. I keep changing. I wrote 10 years back, One Indian Girl. I used to think little differently then. I'm thinking differently now. Society also thinks differently now. That was happening then, this is happening now. Even though the book is in this way, it's not a typical feminism type book because the girl's younger, guy's older. Even then, there are a couple of things I do to which portray a different image. Firstly, in all my books, the women have a career. All. And this one, she's high profile, like, it's private equity. Even One India Girl, she was in Goldman Sachs, MBA from IML. A lot of girls who read the book say, I want to become like her. I want to find out about this job. Ye kya hai? Sometimes your role models can be a fictional too. And I think I try to do that. And that way, it's a contribution to feminism. If you read the book, you'll feel it's Payal taking charge of all the stuff. He's kind of like just so in love with her. But she is the feisty one. And that to me is also a way I show kind of you can call it women's empowerment, but also just strong female characters. I think those are the things I try to do. She tries to keep her parents happy, but she still lives her life. If she has to hide things from them, she hides. Is it a flawed character? Yeah, it's grey. She's in a way lying at home or hiding things from home. But at the same time, it is empowering in a way that nobody can stop her from living the life she wants to live. So I think I try to bring it in each book in some way. But every book does have a different focus. One Indian Girl was about feminism. This book is not. This book is about age gaps and how do you know someone is the one? Like how do you know whether it's lust or love? That's why the lust stuff is important. It's just there. It's there because it confuses the hell out of them. Is the sex good because we are in love? Or are we in love and therefore the sex is good? Which comes first? And that's an issue every couple faces. But we just never discuss it. There's no platform in our society to discuss these things. So I think this book brings that. So this book's focus is that. How do you know someone is the one? As simple as that. Two States is about two different communities. So yes, every book of mine, I try to take one different thing.
But how do you want the readers to read this book? As a fiction romance, or is it the modern relationship that the society is seeing today? And to understand from your book that, okay, it's normal, it's fine, it happens. How do you want readers to really read this book of yours?
Yeah, I think every reader will take their own lesson or message out of it. Firstly, I want them to enjoy it because, like I said, it's funny and it's that. They should hopefully make them emotional, make them laugh, and make them just rethink about what they look for in a partner. How do they know? How will they know that this person is good enough to be my lifelong partner? I think when they read this book, they will get some idea he talks about it also. And I think they should just read this book, that love can come in various shapes and sizes and it can still work. So it's overall a broad message of love. There is someone called the one who exists for you, and you should always have hope that you will find them. And I think that's a good way to be in a society today where it's all crumbling. Everybody's into situationships and swiping left, right, all this craziness happening. So I think that's what I want them to have, new hope in love.
Coming back to the book, the characters of your book, you've also had different characters apart from the protagonist of Saket and Payal, the parents of Payal, and the friend who's influencer to Payal again, and the best friend of Saket. How did you go about visualizing these characters, and how important are side characters when you write the plot of your main book?
Payal's parents were especially important because they are the conservative Jain family. At the same time, they've educated her in Stanford. At the same time, they're giving her a very good life. And I didn't want people to hate them, that they are just like being tough for no reason. They're just controlling, yes. But I did my research, and maybe you can actually add to this answer, that in Jain communities, if sometimes the kids marry outside the community, it's very bad. Like,
The traditional ones, yes.
It's
I
in
agree.
traditional ones.
Yes.
So it's one thing like, okay, Punjabi, Tamil, they got married. We didn't want it. This is not good. They are not from our culture. Nothing makes sense. That's one problem. That's bad. But it's very bad in the sense
It's
that
war.
you can get ostracized.
Yes.
Like literally, they will not invite you to functions. If like the community functions, you are no longer welcome because your child went and married. That is crazy. I mean, I was like, so in some ways, Payal's parents are also like, what do they do? Like they no, it's not easy to live in when you're whole, and they're very religious. They go to a lot of temples, like they do a lot of pilgrimages. So to their fear is not so much that, okay, what will we do with this son-in-law? Their fear is that what will happen to us in society. So I thought that though that I had to do it carefully so that they are tough on Payal, but they should not be hated. Hopefully that has come. Mudit is the best friend.
Best friend.
Who I think is almost like what friend that every man needs. You need to have a Mudit in your life because he not only supports him, he has a comedy club, so he not only gives him a chance to perform there and all that, but he also is very tough on him when he's losing himself for Payal, and he says like, "What, dude? What are you doing?" Like, and I think sometimes your best friend needs to just take your class and not just be there unnecessary. Like always, unconditional love is fine, but he can be very tough on him also, which I think makes the character more interesting because he has a spine and he tells him and he keeps teasing him also, and he knows that she's younger. He knows, of course, that she's working and all, but he keeps saying, how's that schoolgirl girlfriend of yours? Okay, has she come back from school? Like, because they're all comics, right? So they keep making these jokes. But at the same time, he's very, like, when he has to give him the right advice, he's there for him. And I thought that's an interesting one too.
A very interesting answer that in terms of the role play of different characters that build the storyline of the book. Because often what happens is the focus of the reader is so much in the protagonist of the book that the surroundings which actually form the way the protagonists are really working is missed. So I think this is a very important answer that you gave to all of us in terms of how the storyline is built up.
Speaking of role plays,
let's not get there.
So Payal likes role plays. What kind of role plays you read the book?
So you spoke about this book is a book to find who is the one for you, right? In your definition of love and lust, what do you think the new generation or the Gen X or the newer relationship status that all of us have in today's society should look at? Who is the one? How do we define that one?
It's a tough one. It's not like this book has one page so and so you can read the answer. It's not like that. It is always going to be tough. Firstly, you have to cut out the distractions. Today, we live in the world of social media where you can constantly compare your partner and your coupling with other couples and feel super inadequate. That she has a better deal, he has a better deal. They are having more fun. They seem to be more in love. They are putting better filters on their photos. So they are obviously a better love. It's nonsense, right? And time, you have to give it time, and you have to see apart from the sex, what else is there in this relationship between us? What are we? So sex is meant to feel good. I mean, that's how nature made it. Otherwise, nobody would have it, and then there'll be no more kids, and it's over for the planet, for humanity. So it will feel good, right? It's not very. And that's not love in a way. Like, that's not like, oh my God, I've never felt this way before. I touched a boob. That's what guys are, right? That's not love, dude. Okay, relax. So take away the sex, and what is the equation between you and your partner, boy or girl, whatever. And what are the shared goals? What are the shared values? And can you help each other grow in life and reach where you want to reach? Whatever it is, you want to be very rich, drive expensive cars, you want to be really fit, you want to, I don't know, become a doctor or whatever it is. Can you help each other do that? And do you have that understanding about what is the value system regarding parents, regarding God, regarding everything? And if there is a match there, if all that is good, then maybe they can be the one, you know. But at the same time, yeah, you need to have the chemistry, you need to have the lust too. Otherwise, it's not romantic love. I mean, it's love, but it's sibling love or friends love, and there's like all kinds of love, parental love. But partner love, romantic partner love has to have the element of lust in it. But it should have, if they are the one, then it has to have more than lust. Yeah.
Right. No, very interesting. And because most of them have still yet to read the book here, if you could throw some light on Payal as a character, because when I read the book and when I look back to all your other books, I found quite a lot of similarity between Payal and Ananya Subramaniam from Two States in terms of the woman, the fierceness, the kind of, assertiveness, the strong nature of the character. So can you help all of us understand Payal as a character in your book?
Yeah. No, you're right that maybe I write a certain kind of woman, and they tend to be witty and clever and feisty. And in that sense, you're right. There is some, and they're career
Oriented,
right? Yeah, career oriented. Payal is the upgraded iOS of Ananya in a way. She's more Gen Z. She is been brought up in a much more stricter environment than Ananya was. Ananya's parents literally begged her to not marry, folded hands. The father folded hands to the guy and said, please leave us alone. We are simple people. We can't marry you. You're Punjabi, like that. Like this was that approach. Whereas Payal's Jain parents are not like that. They are like, I'll put you in jail and you will regret the rest of your life. You get out of here. Like it's a little more aggressive, kind of, a little more controlling. And that's how she's been brought up. And she's been, in a way, she feels guilty and she's been always told that this is what good girls do. In some ways, Payal is more representative of the typical Indian middle class girl, where there's a lot of guilt around everything because they've been told that good girls don't do this, good girls do this, good girls don't. And even as they grow up, that just is there in their brain. But there's a desire to live her life, which is to find love or whatever, experiment with alcohol or whatever else she wants to do. So I think that's one difference. She's younger, much younger than that. And she has never had a boyfriend or anything like that kind of thing. I mean, again, I'll end up giving the story, but to compare, I have to say, she does give in to her parents.
She gets married, yeah.
Yes. Now we are again... So there are differences, but yes, Chetan Bhagat girls will be strong. That is there. But I've tried to make sure there were some differences, yeah.
And what about Saket as the character, the lead character?
Saket, the biggest difference is that a lot of my love stories have always had college guys, right? Revolution 2020 Gopal, or Half Girlfriend, Madhav, Stephen's College, or even 5 Point Someone. All college love romances. Saket, first time I've done a 33-year-old guy who's divorced and bitter and has baggage. He's going through a divorce, having those calls with lawyers. It's a risky move in India because divorce is still considered very, a lot of stigma. And in a love story, people have to love the boy and girl. Now, if the moment you say that he's divorced and people say, why should I care then? If people don't care about the boy and girl, they will not read the story. So, Saket in a way is the most complex, mature character in terms of love. He's 33 and going through a lot of baggage, a lot of crap in his life, but he's chosen to be a stand-up comic to cope with it. So that makes him, I think, far more interesting than the other, like a typical college guy who looks at a girl in college and falls in love with her. So I think it's a lot more complex. And he has marriage phobia, literally. Like he says, I just got out of marriage and I will not even get involved with a girl, but with Payal, like he just can't, it just happens. But he tells her, like, I have marriage phobia. I can't do it because my marriage didn't work. So I think all those things are really new. That's not there in my books. It's hard. You can imagine I'm writing my 12th book. I mean, and all have to be about India. All have to be about modern. So but again, this was a risk I took, that I took a divorced hero as my main protagonist.
And across your first book, 5 Point Someone, to your 14th book, leaving the two non-fiction out, the 12th fiction book, anything that is common in the way you write your storyline? You've given the difference between the characters, but anything that is common in the way you think, your process of research, or just the way the story pans out?
They are broadly, I think, and that's just the person I am, a very positive outlook towards life. That life will work out. Life will eventually work out. And the hero is not someone who does extraordinary things. None of my heroes have done extraordinary things. But the hero is someone who doesn't give up. I think that's, if you put a common trait across all 12 books, that's really the thing, because I want to give that message that life will work out. Life is good. People are good. And I think you need that hope in society.
Very well said. I think I agree with you that the hope plays a very big role in the way we grow up in this so-called, societal challenges we have on a daily basis. But
and why do we listen to stories?
Right.
For that only.
Right.
Why do stories exist? Why are there so many stories in these various books in this shop? So that they give us a message of hope.
Right. And in terms of your books being a blockbuster in terms of movie films also, anything on 12 years, anything that you would like to share in terms of, is this something that you would like the larger audience beyond books to also know this story?
I like Bollywood, but I'm not like so crazy about it anymore. Firstly, I've had a lot of experience. It just takes a long time and does makes you very famous. And it's a little bit of a high, but it distracts me from writing.
Right.
Really. And my biggest strength is I can take blank piece of paper and create these characters and write these stories. Adapting a book is fun, but it's the same story. Yeah, it's very high budget and you're hanging out with movie stars and all that. But I found that it's not as satisfying to me. And it's, in fact, sometimes negative also, because a lot of people who work in the film industry, they're not the nicest people. Whereas this is pure. It's my pure skill of writing, and I can directly come to you guys. You guys have all... I can't tell you how happy I felt that everybody has read Two States. Like, I had to ask you. But that's the smart people of Bangalore. Because most places I go, book to nahi padha, sir, picture dekha hai. So, and then you feel tempted, yaar, picture banwao, yaar, like, so that you can reach more people. But now I've reached that stage that, listen, it'll be great if a movie is made. And there have been some inquiries on this. We are talking to people, and if it happens, it might happen. I think it'll make a very nice movie. But my primary focus is to write this book and to connect with you guys, people who read. And I think you need people in society who write books and are happy to write books and want people to read. There are so many movies. There's so many OTT content. I can add to it, but that's not the problem in society today. The problem in society is not that we don't have enough entertainment in terms of movies. There was a time like that. 30, 40 years ago when Doordarshan and all were there, nothing was there. Today there's a glut. What we can get help in is if someone can write books that people want to read, and we get that whole reading, writing thing churning again. And I'm still able to do that. And I think I should focus on that. That'll be my purpose in life. That is what is going to make me happy. That is what God sent me here to do. And that's what I should do. I mean, movies, great. I will send it, but it's not priority for me.
And the good part, I think all of us would agree, in your books is that, like already mentioned, you have given away to first-time readers, I would say. Many of the readers who would not have, picked up a book. But because your writing is simple, it's neat, it has the depth where it has to have, and it's fast-paced, it's not boring. You can love the book overnight, and which is why I think a lot of new readers, you've created these new readers, which is very good for the entire ecosystem of reading, bookstores, specifically asking, we at Sapna, we love selling your books because of your books, a new set of readers walk into the store. So I think all of us would agree that your books are really well positioned in terms of what type of readers should read. The new set of readers, the more matured ones also are able to, pick up this book just for a nice, breezy, fast-paced read before they get to their work or, go back to bed. So I think that's a wonderful way in which you have brought across your books,
Thank
and
you.
which is seen across all your books. all your fiction
that
books.
is always the intention. For the people who never read books also, I want them to start reading. And a lot of people tell me, I'm sure in this crowd also, like they'll say, yours was one of the first books we read. And then we've gone on to read more books, which is great. You could, but and you may even read more complex books. And I say that's great, but these still have value. Your mother teaches you how to walk. And one day you might become a big officer somewhere. It doesn't mean that someone who taught you how to walk is less important now. So I'm happy to be that mother.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So just we have a very interesting segment for our audience here. It's called the rapid fire round with Chetan
gosh.
Bhagat. It's not the Karan Johar show. Don't worry, there's no hamper. But this is something which all of us are looking forward to know more about you, more on the personal side, more on the humorous side. Since you've got Saket already written, I'm sure a lot of witty
I'll
will
try.
come your way.
I will try.
So on that, are we all ready for a humorous round of with Chetan Bhagat? What's your writing fuel? Coffee, chaos, or criticism?
Coffee only.
Coffee.
Lot of coffee. I try to limit, because I read somewhere, it's correct also, that if you have coffee in the afternoon, then you have difficulty sleeping at night. And that definitely happens to me. Coffee is good. Criticism used to be a fuel when I was younger. That's very bad fuel to have. It comes down to your fuel should be internal, not external. Even praise is not a great fuel. Neither is criticism, because it's all outside. When you create for yourself. Create not thinking about the outcome. That's when the best creativity comes. Even like not just writing, whatever work you're doing in office or whatever business you have. Yes, you are doing it for other people, but don't think of them when you are doing it. Think that, is it meeting your standard? Are you enjoying it? And that is best. And today, like even 12 years, the biggest enjoyment was writing this. The launches are good. It's nice. Of course, so nice to be here. But there was a time, it wasn't the writing. It was like, when will the launches and the media coverage and all that? That's okay now. It's good. But the fuel has to come from within you, or coffee. Which
Wow,
is
it
fine.
shows the evolution
I
that
think
you
so.
yourself
I'm
have
older
gone
now,
through
I'm
into your
51.
journey.
It's like really, age teaches you a lot of things. Some advantages of being old. There's a lot of disadvantages. There's a lot of advantages also.
The weirdest place you've ever written a paragraph or a chapter of your books?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
No, not what you think. I had done the first draft of the book, and I went to do Vipassana. You know what Vipassana is? So you go for 10 days, and you cannot speak, you cannot read, you cannot write, you cannot watch TV, you cannot talk to anyone, and you just do meditation all day, 9 hours. It's very tough. But I did it. But I'd just done the draft and gone. So your mind will go back to Saket and Payal, right? Non-stop. And I would think of some funny thing, some funny scene. This scene, the Pawn Jai scene, where she says, "Oh, it's okay, Saket, I still love you." I thought it was damn funny, but it came to me during meditation. Okay? So, and I knew I have to be here in like 8 more days. And if sometimes you think of something and you forget it. You have to put it. I don't have my laptop. There was only one way. They had given us these slips of a complaint thing. Like if you have something is wrong, like there are like some, insects in your room or mosquitoes in your room, or the food is not, you want some other food, it's like not what you. So you write it quietly and you slip it in some box, and then they will address that problem. So idea is to maintain that noble silence, they call it. There were pens there, and there was a piece of papers lying there near that complaint suggestion box or whatever. So I went there. I was like, I should follow the spirit of Vipassana. I will just meditate and forget about the external world, forget about the book, this, that. But I was like, this scene is hilarious. This girl getting back to him saying, yeah, you're also, guys say it's okay, I love you, whatever your size. And she said, yeah, okay, I also love you. Even if she was small, it's okay. So, and for guys, that's like, so I was like, I have to write this. Yaar, abhi kaise karu? So I went there and I picked up a pen and paper and I wrote the key, not the whole scene, but the whole flow of the scene. That they will talk, she will say push up bra, fraud, this, that, there, pawn J, not this, ऐसे करके crumple करके I just put it in and I put it back in my luggage and I brought it back. And that I came back, I wrote that scene and I put it in the edit of the book later. So that definitely was the weirdest. I'm sure like Guruji and all, like they were like, had no idea what's going in my head. Like, yeah, I'm not perfect, okay?
Guys, imagine how witty the book would be, right?
That scene I read, so I'm telling you, there was one more scene that came to me. I'm not telling you now. You know that Om machine?
Yeah.
That thing.
Okay, very, very interesting. Okay. And one line you've written that you still think about now at 2 a.m. in your 12 years book.
Not a line, but like that. The teddy bear scene.
Oh.
Okay, that is just something. Like I said, there is magic. Even I can't write it again. It just happened that day. Then I wrote it. So it was hilarious.
Very hilarious scene. We'll not get there, but you will read that and you will laugh your heart out. Okay. How many drafts before you say, okay, fine, this is it? You have a lot.
There's a lot. There's like some 6-7 editors. Rashmi is one of them. And she is very difficult. I'll give you an example of the level she goes to. So Saket and Payal meet at Leto Cafe in a scene, and like the scene is about a very serious conversation they're having and all that. And how sometimes the scene say, oh, we just ordered some lemon ginger tea and we had it. I get an edit note. Like, this is just one of the hundreds of corrections in the book. I went online. I checked the menu of Leto Cafe. There is no lemon ginger tea. There is ginger spice. So can you please change this? So that's the level of detail we go to. And so there is a lot of work done. I have external editors. I have somebody I hire. I have my test readers. I myself read. Maybe some 9th or 10th draft, 11th draft, something like that is the one that finally gets printed. But it's a lot of, we take a lot of care. Actually, we come across and present it as a very casual, easy to read book. But it's every aspect of it has been checked. And we try to make it the best we can.
Wow. We will give it up for Rashmi, who's in the house today. And I agree to that.
There was scenes in which Payal goes to some place and I would write the dress and then she would say, no, she wore this colored dress in the other scene. You can't have her repeat the color. Then we would go to like various fashion websites like Zara and all that and look at dresses of girls. And then I would find another dress and like write about that dress, and so yeah, there was lots, like even to that level we go.
And that can be seen even when you write your cities, the entire non-living aspect of things.
Everything else, like, so it feels very real.
Right.
The dress, the clothes, the earrings, everything matters as much as the actual story. The dishes they order, yeah, everything.
What's more complicated, love or algorithms? Since you're an IIT and
algorithms are not complicated at all.
Not at all.
Love is super complicated. Love is messed up. Actually, someone said, it's my messed up love story. Say, which love story is not messed up? Love is really difficult. Nobody has figured it out. ChatGPT can't. Algorithms it can. But yeah, it's not easy.
Your first heartbreak at love?
Class 5, there was this girl from Harpreet Luther. She was Sardarni. And she wore these, she had these long hair and you make these choti and I don't know what you call it. What do you call it? When you take the choti and the little girls?
Flat and then
you take it back and you put a red ribbon and then there are these 2 loops. I used to think that like she's so beautiful. And like these loops are like everything. But I went and pulled the loop once, and then she never spoke to me again. So wherever you are, know that I was a young boy who didn't know how to approach you. So I just pulled the ribbon, and you got mad at me. But I mean, I was really heartbroken.
Interesting. And in real life, Chetan, if I have to ask this question to your wife and family, are you more romantic or realistic?
According to my wife, I'm not romantic. I think I'm becoming. Okay, I'm talking not romantic in terms of like romantic love. Romantic has a broad approach to life. And when you say pragmatic or like a realistic as an approach to life, like everything must make sense. Everything should be done by logic. I used to be like that, but now I'm not. Now I'm becoming more romantic in that sense, where it's about how you feel about things, and you should live the life you want to live, even if it's impractical. So that's also kind of like in a very broad sense, that's also called a romantic approach to life, where you don't really care about practicality always. But I was this Mr. Logical, but now I'm Mr. Romantic, I don't know. But not in terms of like a boy-girl romance, but in the overall approach to life.
Very interesting. And a line from your current book, 12 Years, you wish someone had said to you in real life?
That I think you are the one.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, many have said actually. I have said it to many people also. I think you are also one of the ones.
Okay, and coming to a little bit of Bollywood pop culture and drama, if 12 Years becomes a movie, who plays Saket and Payal?
You know, I know all these people. I actually know them. They know me. So if I mention one name and that person is not available, and then we go to the other guy, they say, "अरे वहाँ सपना के podcast में तो बड़े शौक से किसी और का नाम बोल रहा था." So they are very touchy that way. So many people can play it, and we will approach you, and you will be the first one.
Okay, that's nice. And a dream director for the movie?
Same issue, no. Even more problem. The directors I know even better than actors, because you actually end up talking more to the directors than the actors if you're a writer.
Do you send your books to celebrities, actors, actresses?
Not to actors, rarely to actors, usually to directors or a couple of producers. Now I know many of them, so just I send to a few of them. Sometimes they themselves approach me and say, "Can you, the book is available," so they have usually picked it up and read it, and then they approach me. Or if it's some people I know very closely, I'll give them before it releases, but not so much. I mean, it's usually, I let the book come, let it get a buzz, let it get some hype, bestseller list. Then they automatically get curious and ask me. So yeah.
Interesting. And if not any of your books, any book which is not written by you, which has become a Bollywood blockbuster in terms of romance fiction, you thought that maybe you could have written this kind of a storyline. Any of your favorite Bollywood movie, romantic movie, which was a book converted to a movie?
Which was a book.
Yeah.
And it's Bollywood.
Yeah.
I don't know, Devdas, I guess. That was 5 times has been made. Dev D, for example, was a very nice modern rendition. And the original story is so powerful that it keeps getting made in different ways. Like Sanjay Leela Bhansali made it, Anurag Kashyap made it. You cannot have 2 more different directors. But it still worked in both versions. So that has something to do with the story, right? So that one, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And the IITN side of yours, where logic would meet laughter. Rate these in order of pain. Okay. IIT entrance exam, a heartbreak, or a bad review of your book.
Oh, you really thought this through, huh? Ouch. Let me add one more thing to it. Getting a Dubai driving license, which will rank right up there. I failed 6 times. It is really hard. It is so difficult. Like the guy who was my driving examiner said, "Oh, you wrote 3 days." He was not even an Indian. He was like an Emirati guy, like a UAE citizen. and they came and he was driving instruction. He took a selfie with me and then he says, "But I'm failing you." I'm like, delete that selfie now. I'm like, why? Like, why? He said, "Listen, I really respect you. I think you can write movies, but you can't drive a car." And then another one, and then another one. So one mistake you do, one mistake, like when you're parking, like one little bit the tire touches the fail. Go. So that was very painful. Took me almost 2 years, which is like same time it took for JEE preparation. And in JEE preparation, once the JEE happened, I cleared it. But in this, you are not only doing it for 2 years, but you're failing. And then you have to go home. And then again come, and again, and again, and again. And I had this unlimited class package. And I got called into the principal's office of the driving school at this age. And they said, "Sir, you have unlimited doesn't mean you keep on failing." Yeah. I said, "But what can I do?" Anyway, so that, and then JEE was, I think in all these, the JEE was very hard. So the hardest actually will be heartbreak. Then Dubai driving license. Then JEE. And then a bad review of my book. Because I've had so many bad reviews that it's okay now. Some people don't like it. It's okay. I understand. I pushed envelope. I pushed boundaries. I have a certain writing style. Not everybody will like. It's okay.
And so you're smart. You're an IITian. You did your IIM thereafter. So anybody addressing you as a nerd or any nerdiest things that you've done in your life or which continues to be part of your daily routine? Because
I'm very nerdy.
Let's give it. You cracked 2 of the biggest exams, competitive examinations in the country, right? So I'm sure that you are smart, and everybody would agree that you would be a nerd too.
I'm still very nerdy. I'm still fascinated by numbers, and I track numbers for no reason. Whether it's my steps, or I don't know, whether it's my investments, whether it's my car. Now I have a car now because I got the license finally. So, and I'll track everything over there, and engine and this and that, and then all my books have numbers in their titles. So I think I still am very nerdy, and I am very fascinated by tech, by companies like Apple. A lot of my marketing, I know it's a completely different category, but my books come out when the new iPhone comes out. Usually, if you notice, around the same time. September announcement. And when we did the cover, right? So this is a girl called Rachita who does the covers. She's from NID. And I said it should be like, see the iPhone box. It should be very clear. And it just focus on things. So we did it red, because red is love story. And I said, even if someone doesn't read the title, they should know it's a love story. And it should stand out in the shop. So just the couple, and the mic is because it's stand-up comic, and the wires wrapped around them because it's like the messed up love story. So these are all inspirations from the tech world, actually, in a very strange sort of way. Apple never tells you what they're going to release till the day of the release. So I never talk about my next book till it's completely ready for release and just suddenly come. Apple also tries to deliver more than expectations. Something new. It's something same also. iPhone is iPhone. But there's something new. So it is a Chetan Bhagat book, but there's something new also. So I try to do all that.
Books or box office?
Books.
Love or logic?
Love.
Saket or Payal?
Payal. What will I do with Saket?
Laptop or notepad when you write?
Laptop.
Hate comments or like honest reviews?
Obviously, honest reviews.
Morning writer or a midnight thinker?
Morning.
Romance or revenge? What excites you more when you write a thriller versus your romance?
If I have a good romance story, then romance. Yes.
Read or reread? You like to reread your books, or once you're done, you move on?
No. Just move on.
Move on. Okay. And the last question is, if you could tell yourself, if you're an 18-year-old something, what would that be?
Don't eat so much.
Don't eat so much.
I think I was fat throughout my life. थोड़ा अभी बेटर किया है. But I just love food. So I think maybe I would have said eat less and move more. I don't know.
Fantastic. I think that's a lovely
Thank
rapid
you.
fire round.
Great questions. Thank you.